Take the Jesuits, all the religious orders, and torture them. They will confess. If some deny, repeat it a few times. They will confess. Should a few still be obstinate, exorcise them. Shave them. Only keep on torturing, they will give in. Take the canons, the doctors, the bishops of the church. They will all confess.
They were tortured 3 times. The first time, a lot of people got through and didn't confess. By the end of the second time, virtually everybody confessed because the torture was absolutely monstrous. And then we have the question of the 3rd degree. We get that term in English from the fact that this 3rd level of torture would virtually, if they didn't kill the people, everybody confessed.
The torturer made her sit on the rack, undressed her, and applied the thumbscrews. When the thumbscrews were applied to her toes, she cried out louder than before. The inquisitor inserted the mouth pair and demanded that she confess. When it was removed, she told her story. 10 years ago, it happened that the devil came to her in the guise of a man. First they danced, and then they dined, and then she and others knelt before the goat and kissed him. Here she named 8 neighbors. Only one letter, written in 1590 by Rebecca Lemp, survives. O husband, they take me from thee by force. How can God suffer it? My heart is nearly broken. Alas, alas, my poor dear children orphaned. Husband, send me something that I might die, or I must expire under torture. If thou canst not today, do it tomorrow. Write to me directly, R.L. Near the city of Trier, 2 entire villages were exterminated. In another, only 2 people were spared. It took the Church 200 years of terror and death to transform the image of paganism into devil worship and folk culture into heresy. The days when Europeans met under the fairy tree to dance and sing and celebrate the rites of spring were disappearing. The devil was afoot in the land. He was conjured up in fields and forest groves, and his demons were led by women. Pagan celebrations that once affirmed the people's connection to the land gradually took the guise of secular carnivals, and the festivities were led by men. The European world had been turned upside down. The wild-horned god of the old religion had been transformed into the devil, and women were said to be more susceptible to his charms. Women were irrational. They were driven by their passions. If sexuality was a sin, then woman was the greatest sinner of all.
Because women were, by definition, sexual, women were also dangerous. And women could be in league with the devil because, after all of these dangerous and wicked and threatening and ungodly and unchurchly things must have come from the devil. The devil had by then got elevated to God's worthy opponent. There had been changes in church doctrine that made the devil almost the other side of the coin of God.
When a woman reportedly signed a contract with the devil, it was generally finalized with some sexual act. The interesting thing is that whereas witchcraft is found in areas stretching from northern Italy all the way to Scandinavia, women who confess to this, because we still have the trial records, generally indicate that sexual union with the devil is a very, very painful thing. It's never enjoyable. Apparently, the devil's member is icy and frigid. Now, this caused a great deal of consternation. If there wasn't such a thing as witchcraft, how come all these women respond in the same way? And remember, we're in the 16th century. There is no such thing as radio, telephone, TV. These are very, very remote communities and villages. Why do women respond in the same way when they're interrogated? Mind you, it isn't all that mysterious. The interrogators were all supplied with handbooks, the type of questions to pose.
The most popular handbook was the Malleus Maleficiarum, the Hammer Against Witches. It was one of the first books to achieve mass distribution, thanks to the invention of the printing press.
The most nefarious book ever done on how to burn a witch was done by not one but two Dominicans, Malleus Maleficiarum, in the late 15th century. And I've studied the book, and it's unbelievable. It's a pure study of repression and projection, therefore. And so it's a highly sexual book, and it's all about the projection of men onto others. The fear of their own sexuality, the fear of the night, the fear of the dark, the fear of women, all of it comes out very strong. But that book was extremely influential.
Commissioned by Pope Innocent VIII, the Malleus singled out women as the primary source of witchcraft.
Maybe my lifetime is dedicated to repairing the sins of my fathers, you see.
No monuments have been built to their memory. Only a few relics, like the witch's cart, remain to mark their passing. The people of Trier still gather together in the town square. Few remember the horrors that took place here just 300 years ago. Most people have forgotten that women like this once lived in a state of terror, and that 6 generations of children watched as their mothers burned at the stake. History is written by the winners.